Welcome to Kim's Creations. I'm so glad that you're here. I just wanted to hop on here and give you an intro of myself and my business. I want to tell you a little about who I am, why I started this channel. My name is Kim Wood. I'm an artist out of Fort Worth, Texas. I started out just drawing with pencils and charcoal as a kid, cartoon characters and things like that, and then I escalated to portraiture. And that was a real challenge for me. I didn't start out real great at it, but I love to do it. So I continued to do that. From there, in my 20s is when I decided to branch out and paint for the first time. So I started doing some abstract stuff, and I just fell in love with color. I fell in love with painting with color. And since then, it's like, okay, that's just what I'm gonna do. Color stuff. I have to paint with color. It has to be a part of what I do. So, but of course, I had a full-time job as an engineer. That's what I do by trade. But the artist in me has always been there. It's always tugged on my heart a bit. And I believe that when God gives you something, it tugs on you until you do it, until you use it. And so I want to just encourage each and every one of you, if you have something like that that's tugging at you, and it's not your trade, it's not what you went to school to do, you should probably be doing it. So I encourage you to do it. So that's what's happened to me, and that's what led to me wanting to share it. So in 2018, back to my story, in 2018 I started with the fluid artwork. I didn't know what I was doing at first, of course, so I decided to experiment just with paint and water and just pouring it on the canvas to see what I would get. And of course, it was a mess. I didn't know what I was doing. So I got on YouTube and I learned from Anna Marie Ritterhoff. I gotta give a shout out to her because she is the first artist that I learned from. She taught us how to mix the paint and how to use different techniques to get different things, and I just fell in love. So I started doing fluid artwork. I ended up making all kinds of fluid artwork on Lazy Susans and canvas panels, and I had my first art show in 2018. I actually did really well with that, and I was so excited, but it was just so much work. I just did not know how much work was involved in doing a show. And I didn't even have enough, but I still did decent. So I was surprised and I was excited at the same time. And I knew that fluid artwork was something that I would always want to do. So that's something that's one aspect of my art that I'll always do. So moving on to when Creasource began. Creasource began in 2018 after I began to do the fluid artwork, and the name of the business is Creasource because it is intended to expand. You know, I just thought that I should have a name that would cover anything that I would possibly want to do in the future with the business, and hopefully one day I'll have other artists, you know, that I'll be supplying our services to. And you know, the idea is like to have a channel that supports several artists, or a website that supports several artists. Right now under Creasource I have Kim's Creations, which is my personal portfolio that showcases all of my handmade artwork. I also have Creasource Designs, which is my Etsy shop, one of the Etsy shops where I sell print on demand goods such as t-shirts and mugs, and that showcases all of my digital artwork and maybe some of the paintings that I create as well onto things such as mugs and t-shirts. I also have creasourcemom.com, which is a blog. It's a DIY blog that incorporates all types of DIY projects. So I'm trying to juggle a few things. As you can see, I have a lot going on, but that was the idea behind Creasource. It's not just to have my personal things, but to share other people's work and other people's ideas as well, and eventually have a website that caters to multiple artists. So that's in a nutshell who I am and why I created Creasource. Ultimately, I just believe that we're all creative creatures, and we should all explore that creative right side of our brains. We should all use that. We should all cater to that, because I think it's important to be well-rounded individuals, and not just think one way, to use your creative spark. So I'm really hoping that this channel gives you some inspiration, and it makes you want to bust out your paintbrushes and your paint pouring mediums and get painting with me. I hope that it inspires you. I thank you so much for joining. I hope that you enjoy what I have to share just as much as I enjoy sharing it with you. Love you guys. Bye.